Hey guys, it's Sign here, HobbiesofaMan. Once again, and today we're doing our check-in video for the month of June. So this is a bit late, about 5 days late, but that's because I went down to Howard Days and I was really tired, and I had other stuff to do, so I didn't get around to it. Plus, in general, I've been kind of feeling tired of doing videos, if that makes sense. It's not like a difficult process for me, but sometimes it's a bit too time intensive for what I want to do with my time, right? And I do want to get back to daily videos. I enjoy doing this, but in the last couple months, really, I've been kind of feeling kind of slumped out about it. I feel like there's a lot of stuff to do, and the motivation isn't quite there for a variety of reasons, mostly just the fact that I have a lot of stuff going on in my personal life. You know, I'm moving, I have classes. I ended up kind of having to do a lot of stuff, before vacation, and then I ended up taking a vacation, and then it just feels like there's a lot going on, and I just haven't caught my breath for a while. And so video making is probably the first thing to go, because I'd rather read than make a video. And then because I'm reading so much comparatively, my backlog of things I need to make for the channel kind of grows and grows and grows. And then I end up kind of in this moment of like choice paralysis, I guess. It's like, out of all the videos that I have to make, which one's the easiest to make, or which one should I do first, right? And I would prefer to do the longer ones first, which would be things reviewing novels. But then like a Wandering In video, for example, takes 3 hours to record, and then like 6 hours to edit, maybe another 3 hours to edit. And I get a lot of views from it, and I get a lot of interactions from it, but not quite, the right amount for the effort I'm putting in, if that makes sense. And so I kind of feel like a lack of motivation because it's just such a time-intensive thing. And then at the same time, I'm like, well, I want to do this because I want to talk to people about it. So what the heck do I do? And I kind of get lost in the sauce a little bit. And I've been kind of slumped out because I just have a lot of stuff to do, right? So hopefully, mid-July, I should be back to a more normal schedule. That'll be after my birthday. That'll be after I move. That'll be after I get through the first hump of the middle summer semester. And so hopefully by that point, I get back on the horse and kind of trot along properly at a good pace. But until then, we're going to have a bit of a tumultuous kind of situation going on here for a while. So, but I don't really want to talk about that much. I want to talk about other things. So, in terms of what I've been watching, basically nothing. I haven't really had too much time. I watched the Evil Eye movie. I watched a few Mission Impossible movies just for fun, just because I'd rather watch something or have something on playing in the background while I do other things. Not reading, though. I prefer music for reading, but like, if I'm writing something down, I'd rather have something playing in the background than nothing. And that's what the Mission Impossible movies have been for. There's been a lot of movies that I've wanted to watch, and I just haven't found the time to do so yet, which kind of sucks. But, there's The Ballerina, there's The Materialist, there's, what was that Omar Sy movie, or Omar Sy movie? I wanted to watch that as well. I didn't get a chance to. There's a few other things that I wanted to watch in the movie theater that I haven't gotten a chance to. Hopefully I do get to have a chance to do so instead of just kind of having to wait. But then there's even more movies coming out, right? There's the Jurassic World movie, which is a franchise I'm a big fan of. I love going to those movies, even if they're not necessarily that good. Then there's Fantastic Four, then there's Superman, and that's coming up. And so I've had a lot of stuff I want to watch. I just really haven't found the time for it, right? Then I went to Howard Days this weekend. So Howard Days is a celebration of Robert E. Howard, the original writer for Conan, the creator of Conan the Barbarian, and a bunch of other characters. He's also kind of like Texas's most important fantasy writer, I would say. I don't know if there's many others. I mean, Anne Rice is technically not from Texas, although you could kind of claim her in some way. I think she's from Louisiana, right? But there's a lot of overlap, especially in the southern Texas kind of region, like Houston in Louisiana, and kind of like what's it called, New Orleans and stuff like that. It feels kind of like very similar in some ways. So I guess you could kind of mention her, but I can't think of any other one So I think, yeah, Robert E. Howard is probably the most important fantasy writer out of Texas, at least like speculative sci-fi type stuff or fantasy type stuff, like sci-fantasy, right? He's also kind of the creator of a bunch of different genres, like the weird western, the sword and sorcery. He kind of copied Edgar Rice Burroughs for like a Sword and Planet type story. So he's not a creator of that, but he kind of played with that idea as well. Kind of like the occult detective thing. I mean, not quite, but in the modern sense, like Jim Butcher's, what's his name? Harry Dresden, you could say is kind of a direct copy or a direct modernization of a character like Solomon Kane, right? And so Howard Days is a 2-day event. Technically, I guess people are around there for about a week, but there's only 2 official days. And I went down there, got to see a bunch of people I saw last year. I got to take a friend of mine, a YouTuber from Canada, his name's Stygian Dogs. He decided to come down, and we got together. I took him down there. I drove him around, and it was a great time. It was lovely. I really had a wonderful time, but it's just so tiring because even though, you know, how tiring can it just be to sit around and talk with a bunch of people? The event isn't like physically intensive. It's just like very socially intensive, and it's something that I haven't really had to deal with in a long time. And so I ended up kind of feeling very tired by the end of it. I was really happy the whole time, and I'm very happy that I went. But at the end of it, you're just kind of like, oh, okay, fuck, I need a rest, right? And then I actually ended up kind of, I guess, hosting Stygian Dogs for about 4 days total. The 2 days we were at the event, the Sunday after, and then the Monday after, just kind of taking him around the city, kind of helping him kind of orient himself around Dallas. And it was lovely. It was a great time, but I did end up being pretty tired about it. So, yeah, but if you guys are fans of Robert E. Howard or Conan or anything like that, please go to Howard Days. It's really fun. It's really great. I recommend it. If you want to see kind of like an after action report of the event, you can watch it on my other channel. It's called the Sword and Sorcery Book Club. I have a link to it somewhere, probably down in the description if I remember. So you can go check out that video down there. It should be the latest video or the second to latest video that I have on the channel. And it was wonderful. I had a lot of fun. Otherwise, there's a few other things that I kind of have been doing lately. My sister's birthday was on Monday, and so I had to, you know, do stuff for her. Stuff that I'm happy to do and I really enjoy doing, but it's just kind of like more tiring, right? And otherwise, in terms of reading, I have been reading quite a lot of comic books. I've read a few manga here and there, things that weren't really on my list. I wanted to do only stuff that was like frontier stories or Western type stories, but I ended up reading some other stuff that wasn't really related to that. I read a Delicious in Dungeon book, I read a Rocket Ragnarok book, and I read a Blue Lock book. I think it was volumes 6, 14, or 13 maybe, and 18 for each of those series respectively. Then I just read a bunch of comic books, and mostly single issues that I've been buying. I basically didn't buy any in May, so I have to buy all of those from my store. And then because of that, I ended up not buying many of them in June either, so I'm just kind of like very backed up, which is not always a good thing. It's actually pretty bad. I feel bad about it personally, like, oh crap, this store maybe doesn't depend on my purchases, but you know, comic book stores kind of have like a very low margin of error, I guess. Like if a lot of people suddenly stop buying, they could go out of business, right? And you know, I give them a good amount of business, so I feel kind of bad about that. But at the same time, it's like, well, I just can't buy them all. So you know, we have a good agreement, and they understand. It's just like I feel kind of bad about it, right? So yeah, but I've been reading a lot of that. And in terms of the Western stuff, the June on the Range stuff, I did actually end up reading one of the Western novels that I had wanted to read. That was this, The Trailsman, number 322. Yeah, this is the Apache Ambush. This I read last night completely. I think I read it in about 3 hours. It's only 160 something pages. It's pretty short, and the lettering is quite large, or the point size for the font is quite large. So this is a very quick, easy read, and it was pretty fun. It's not necessarily really about Western stuff. Like if you read something like a Louis L'Amour book, maybe like Flint or Hondo, that is a more proper, real, like this is what it was to be like in the West, right? This kind of has elements of that. It clearly understands that this character, Sky Fargo, is a Western man. He is a gunslinger, he is a cowboy, but the focus of the story really isn't quite on that. It's mostly about the Sky Fargo character finding hot Western, like, framed ladies to get down with, right? So in this book, he gets introduced to 4 of them. So one of them is Tilly. She is a dove or a saloon girl. She's like a wench, right? A barmaid. And he has a lot of fun with her initially. And then throughout the book, there's this plot line of these guys, Mr. Cranmeyer and Krupp, who want to get Fargo on their team. They're kind of going through out west to start a prospecting mine somewhere. And they need to get through the Apache territory, and they want Fargo to join them, and he doesn't want to. But eventually, these guys sick these 3 women on him called the Fraser sisters, and they're like triplets. They're like identical, but their names and their vibes are slightly different. And so throughout the novel, it's just like, how is he going to get with each of them, right? And he doesn't actually get with all of them, but it almost kind of reads more like a harem-lit novel or something like a, I don't know, like something different, like a fantasy romance type novel. It's not quite, like, it doesn't have that same vibe of like a Louis L'Amour Western. But it is a Western. Like, everything about it is about, you know, moving out west. It's about fighting Apaches. It's about the dangers of doing this or doing that. It's like very clear that is the setting and the style. It's just not quite what I expect out of it. Because I didn't really know what to expect. This is kind of like the adult Western, right? The Westerns that focus on the romance aspect. And it was pretty fun. I would like to buy more of them. I think that they're good. They're just not quite as good as like a Louis L'Amour book, but they do end up kind of being a little bit more exciting because they do add that, like, you know, woman in element there that Louis L'Amour is pretty, you know, milquetoast about. So, yeah, it was pretty good. I did enjoy myself. I have a few other novels. I have A Long Arm, which is in the same kind of style, although that one is A Long Arm Giant, which is a very long novel, but I don't know how difficult it will be to read. I have one called War Country, and I also have some sci-fantasy type stuff that is actually Western coded, right? So I might read one of those instead. Yeah, and then obviously the manga, the Western frontier style manga that I want to read. Otherwise, in terms of manga, I've read a few other things that I didn't mention before. I've been keeping up with the soccer manga that just released on Shonen Jump. I read through that first chapter of the baseball manga. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. And I also read Otter of the Flame. That was awesome. I love the art style. That creator did the Red Riding Hood manga that got canceled. I loved it. So this is kind of a new take on that, and it's great. I love the style, and I enjoy the storytelling quite a lot. It's basically My Hero Academia, but also in like a Viking setting, and it's really great. I really like it. And then I read through a lot of Ichi the Witch. I initially didn't like it. I read through a few chapters of it, and now I'm caught up, and I really enjoyed it. I will do reviews for it here soon, but yeah, I guess that's really all there is to it. This is just a check-in, so I didn't really feel like doing all of the usual stuff, all of the big elaborate kind of like 40-minute video. I think this shorter 14-minute video is better. So yeah, that's really all there is to say. Let me know what you guys have been reading this month. What have you done? Have you done anything really cool or interesting lately? Let me know down in the comments. And thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys later.